Hello, it's Vicki LaRoe from Modern Jewelry Creators. Thank you for joining me for this video. Today we're looking at some chain for a few reasons. Currently on my website I have a selection of chain by the foot that is 50% off right now. So I'm going to share some of those. But I also want to show some different jewelry designs that use chain in various ways to give you some design ideas and inspiration. And so whether you're using that chain by taking it apart for different components or using chain remnants or layering it. I just want to show you how you can get the most mileage at a lot of different chain styles. And then I just want to touch on quality as well while we're talking about chain, especially if you're buying it online, right? Because that's so frustrating, or it can be so frustrating as a consumer to buy these types of materials online, especially if you're not familiar with who you're buying from. How do you know the quality, right? There is no universal grading system for jewelry making materials, but there are so many different qualities out there, and so I think it can be really tricky. So I am going to show you some different qualities and hopefully give you some little tips that will hopefully help you when you're purchasing things online. You may or may not know that I owned a lovely, beautiful bead store here locally in Tacoma, Washington called the Bead Factory for just on 30 years. We are currently 100% online as Modern Jewelry Creators for now, and I carry a lot of the same beautiful, high quality materials online that I did in my shop. And I'm fortunate to have a wonderful community that I've known for several decades, and they are familiar with the products I would sell in my store. And so they know and trust the products I sell on my website. However, now that we are online and have an online audience, that audience is not as familiar, right? 'Cause they didn't get to shop, in my store. And so that's why I try to, in these videos, focus a lot on talking about qualities and just to give as much education, I guess, as I can, because you can't touch and feel the products. And so it's really important to me to share as much info as I can through these videos. As I mentioned, our store really focused on carrying very high quality products only. Most craft stores carry jewelry making supplies, and of course you can buy them many places online. And so we really wanted to make sure that we focused on carrying really only the best quality, so that in turn you made very high quality, beautiful jewelry that lasts. And I would say of course, we had a lot of gorgeous beads, but we did focus a lot on making sure that we carried high quality, like foundational materials, materials you need to put your jewelry together. So findings, stringy material, wire, components, chain, all the things that we use to put the jewelry together and keep it together, like the foundation of the jewelry, right? Think about trying to wear a bodycon dress, right? We need the right foundation underneath to make it look perfect, right? Or even the foundation of a house. It's so important that we make our jewelry with the best quality materials that we can. It is, in my opinion, where to put your investment, where to put the money. It really will determine the overall quality and longevity of your jewelry, whether you're making it for you or you're gifting it or selling it. How long it lasts for you or for someone else really depends on the quality of the product that you're using, as well as the techniques, things. So I'm going to talk about our chain here, because chain varies a lot in quality, even though at first glance it can look really similar to any other style. And again, because you can't feel it, that's where all the difference is, right? In metals. Our chain is made in Korea. I've purchased from the same chain manufacturer since the day we opened, so for 30 years. And because I worked with him in the bead company that I worked for prior. And over the years, I had bought different chains here and there, but I'm, never found a better quality, and so now I just kind of stick with the manufacturer we've always used. And so like I mentioned, our chains are made in Korea. Our base metal findings are made in Hong Kong. We've almost nothing made, say, in China. The plating that is used on top of it, it's a brass, sorry, it's a solid brass base. 100% hypoallergenic, nickel and lead free. So we use a beautiful brass. The 18 karat gold is 18 karat electroplated bonded over the brass, and the silver is sterling over brass, then a rhodium plate on top. And that rhodium is what gives it that really bright silver color, right? Other chains on the market are commonly made of copper, which is a lighter metal. So by weight, it just will feel lighter in general. And then it's common for people to use a lighter plating, right? That tends to wear off quicker or could chip off possibly. Copper can also carry a certain amount of lead and nickel in it. Pewter is another base metal that's used. Now, pewter is heavier, so it has a better heft to it. However, it's commonly nickel plated, so you get that kind of lovely, shiny nickel color of a nickel, right? But, of course, that's a toxic chemical. So, the chains I have on sale, like I mentioned, are by the foot. Some of the bigger chains I have available by the half foot. And also on our website, I have a few styles that are available by special order that I'm going to mention as we get to them. And some other ones are available by the spool. So we're just going to jump in. I'm going to start by showing you one of my very favorite links. I love this heavy twisted cable link here. She's so beautiful. This is 12 by 8 millimeter, right in the antiqued, in the bright silver, and the bright gold. It's just a really beautiful, heavy chain that has a great look to it. But one of my favorite things about it is taking it apart for components, right? So you don't need to cut it and ruin your cutters. Each link can open, so just like a jump ring would open. You just want to make sure you close it flush. This is not flush. But you can open the links to use them individually, which is, really great. I think this is one of my favorite pieces that I wear. And, right, the gold links in there are these gold links, right? Stay on the camera, Vicki. There you go. Right? Look how beautiful that is. It's just a great way to space out smaller chains and components or beads. This is another piece that's used or made with chain components. And so by using those individual components, and then I've wire wrapped crystals, really you can get a really long, kind of impactful design without really using a lot of materials. Right? There's, I don't know how many crystals are on here, 12 or 14, and then a few components. And it makes, a gorgeous piece. So I like using the larger chains like that for the individual links. As I mentioned, everything, or the ones we're looking at, are half price. The regular by the foot price of this one is $18 a foot. It's very heavy. These are in 6-inch pieces. I have it available by the half foot and 6 inches, so these are 9, and then they're on sale for $4.50. This style, though, is also available as a special order in these in silver and gold, and then also antique copper and brass. So the darker colors are really pretty, and so you can order. I have that coming next week, and you can order by the foot now on sale and get them before it's discontinued. That's the main reason a lot of these are on sale, is that they are being discontinued by my chain supplier. And so we've just updated our chain selection and our chains by the spool, and the styles that are being discontinued, I'm being able to buy at a discount and pass a discount on to you. So it's a great time to get these before they are gone. So I have the 4 pieces here, or like I said, you can do the pre-order by the foot and get them 50% off before these chains are gone. Speaking of things that are discontinued and going to be gone, this lovely, beautiful bling bracelet is, I showed it a couple weeks ago, I think. It's one of our, we call it last chance kits. This one and our Cartier cuff. Because the chains are being discontinued, I cannot make the kit anymore. This uses 2 different chains, that box Rolo and the 3mm rhinestone cup. I have both the chains on sale for half off, but I also have a couple of the kits left that are also half off. These kits I think are $65, and so it's like $38 or $32, something like that. That also includes the class with it, right? So it's a great value. However, if you already have, the leather cord and everything else, you can just, get the chains before they're gone. It's a really unusual Rolo. It's called a box Rolo, and so it's a very tricky shape, and so I kind of understand why they're discontinuing it, but still. The Cartier cuff, I showed you I have a couple of this kit left, only in the gunmetal. And these kits I think are $70, and so it's $35 on sale. They're discontinuing the Rolo, this 5mm textured Rolo. And I do have a little bit of that left as well, but then once it's gone, it is gone. And I'm not sure if I can reach, but right. I love this collar. This is actually available on our sample sale right now. It's this was a great class. But see the little chain pieces here throughout the whole collar? That's what that is that same Rolo piece. Just, I used those pieces of chain almost as bars to string the weave through. It's really a beautiful piece. They're gorgeous pearls. But there's many ways to use your chain. The cup chain, the rhinestone cup chain that I mentioned, it's the size, this 3mm size that's being discontinued. And there's a larger one, a 4mm size, and there's a smaller, the 2mm as well. But it's a rhinestone set chain that it can, the length changes depending on how you're going to use it. You can push it apart, push it together and take it apart. And there are many ways to use the cup chain. I showed you that bracelet. I've made a video for this earring before that has the little 2mm rhinestone chain right there in the middle. I love that earring. It's very pretty. This bracelet uses that same rhinestone chain in the middle in the weave. And some of these samples I grabbed also to show you how they've held up over time. This bracelet we taught like 10 years ago. So, right, the colors held up beautifully. Not the ends are new. I have a tendency to pilfer off the cones and the clasps on my samples, so I've replaced those. So this is on the sample sale, but the weave itself with the cup chain, that is from the original class, which I think was 2014, and it looks perfect. And I've only recently started keeping my chain and designs in airtight bags, in Ziploc bags. We never did at the shop. Our chain looked just like this, but we had like 3 or 4 big tables of it with hundreds of spools of chain, and they never tarnished. And I think we went through it quickly, but we never had a problem with it or any of the jewelry. However, now that it's online and it doesn't turn over as fast, I get worried about the color dulling over time, the brighter colors. So now I keep everything in Ziploc bags. But I wanted to grab samples just to show the beautiful longevity that's held, the colors held up. Same thing, this gold one's quite a bit. older as well. This is an older original sample that's held up, beautifully. And one thing I wanted to mention, that rhinestone chain, the cup chain, here it is in the 2mm. I can put up here. So pretty. Now, it's a pretty generic or common chain, so I imagine there's other places to purchase it. You would think. So it's not like when I say it's being discontinued, you would never find it anywhere else. My certain supplier is discontinuing it. Now, this is something you would definitely be able to tell quality difference of versus another supplier. This rhinestone chain is not prawn set like most. It's cup set. That's what it's called, a cup chain. So what I mean is, when you see most rhinestones or stones like that, they're prawn set, right? With the little prawns around the outside. So ours, though, is more set like in a cup. Envision like a square cup, and the stone is put in that cup, so it's held in there. It's not just held down by a couple prawns. I swear, in 30 years, I've never seen this chain have a missing stone. Not ever. Not a sample, ever. I have seen it, though, have a missing chain or have missing stones when I've seen that chain other places. So it will always be a matter of quality, right? Of the way of something's made. So if you want longevity, I can't think of anything worse than spending all the time working on these woven projects to then go, oh my God, look at that stone is missing. How frustrating would that be? That's never happened to me, so I don't know, but I would imagine it's terrible. So between that, the way it's made, and the color holding it over time, that's, if it doesn't matter to you, then, you can buy it at whatever, Michael's or Temu or something. But I'm just trying to explain the quality and what you're, kind of paying for. Without sounding like too much of a bead snob. I'm really trying not to. Speaking of sparkliness, though, let's look at it. I love this crystal chain very much. It's one of my favorites. She's such a beauty. And I love using this. You can take it apart, right? You can cut the little links apart and use this individually. It's also very beautiful on its own and to be layered. I have some of it available by the foot on sale. It's normal, or it's regular prices. $14, $16, $15, something like that. So it's half off at $7.50. This is also, though, one of the styles you can order by the spool. And the spool size or the length available depends on the style. The larger the design is, the kind of smaller the spool length. So, for instance, you can special order this, not special order, but you can order a spool of it on the website in 5 feet. So it comes in a 5-foot spool, which is a lot, but it's not that much. But it works out about 45% less. So a 5-foot spool of it is $45. That comes up to $9 a foot, which, so where this is available for half off just till it's gone. But you can always order a whole spool of it and save 45% if you want to. This lovely paper clip chain is also available that way. So there's some styles there that can save you some money if you're going to want to use a lot of it. The other plus about it, like this lovely paper clip chain, is in this bright silver. I have the little bit I have left here is on sale, I think, for $3.75. It's normally $7.50 a foot. But it's also, if you order it, it's available in all the colors, in gold, in brass, in copper, in gunmetal. So there's 8 metal colors that you can order it in. So it gives you a lot of options. The crystal chain I wanted to show you. Just a couple samples. Sorry. Here's one little earring, and here's another little earring. Right, so obviously just used a couple inches of it here, and then I'll talk about that little teardrop in a second. But then I've done the component on its own here for the other earring. And I actually wear these earrings together in my like first and second, hole in my ear, and it's so pretty. So I love these little styles. It's obviously a really simple way to use it. Now that little teardrop on the bottom is from a different crystal chain, and I'm embarrassed to show this little sample piece because I pilfered it to death. But our little dancing crystal charm chain is normally full of charms. I've taken most of these off, but it's been discontinued. That's why I don't have any more of it. And what I do have, I have the little pieces taken apart that are in bags like this. But so I only have like what I have here. However, this is one of the chains that's available by special order, not in this color, only in a gunmetal color, which is really gorgeous. I just don't happen to have it here, but it's beautiful. There's around 100 of those little components per foot, and it's $35 a square foot. It's regular price. The special order is only $21 a square foot. That's like 40% off. And like I said, whether you use it with the individual charms, and as I mentioned, there's about 100 of them per foot, so that's only $2 for each one. Or you can wear it just like that when it's really full of the charms. I have a friend of mine that I gave her a necklace that's about 3 feet of the silver, and she wears it just like that, and it's so sparkly and fabulous. And I'm going to ask for a bag. They don't make that anymore. Just kidding. But so I actually did that teardrop. Here's that little marquee on the bottom, or that little diamond shape on the bottom is from that. Also, this little rhinestone center, that's from the cup chain, from the rhinestone chain. I just cut an individual little stone off and put it in the middle of that component. Cute, huh? So that's another way to use the rhinestone chain. This little earring has another one, little diamonds on the bottom. I just love using those components all the time. I think they are so fun and pretty. That's off an earring. Here's off a bracelet clasp. Or it could be off a necklace clasp too, but look how cute. Right? I just dangled the little teardrops and a little round one, and it's really, I think, really beautiful. This could also be a really fun necklace, but this bracelet is made of the paperclip chain. It's 6-inch pieces, so there's a foot of the paperclip chain, and as well as our little Gucci link there that is available by the foot on our website. And then there's our paperclip one, right? So it couldn't be any simpler to put together, and yet I think so elegant and pretty. I really should have made it into a necklace with that at the front. It would have been really pretty. But that's a lovely style. Now, let me just show you a couple other quality things. I mentioned, I think in the last video, that I was recently gifted someone's bead collection, and I've been kind of sorting through it, and maybe half of it is from my shop, which is totally fine, but I've just been sorting through it, and I did come across some little spools, I guess, here of chain. Now, so these are not from my shop. We didn't sell anything on little cardboard like this, and I didn't sell this quantity. We normally sold it by the foot for the most part. There was another little bag. This is from my shop. This is how my customers will recognize this. We sold by the foot. It was always in a little bag with a label. They had the price and the quantity, so when they went up to cash out, they knew what to ring them up for. This lived in this Ziploc bag, so it's, really as bright silver as the day she bought it. It's beautiful. These spools were also, though, in bags as well, and that's my only concern. It's a really pretty little link. It is very, very, very lightweight, where, like the one I just showed you, is almost the same size, but quite a bit heftier or heavier, even by weight. But that's not the issue. My issue is, I don't know how much you can see it, it's that the plating is wearing off, even though it was in a bag, and wearing off really inconsistency, consistently. You can see a lot of the brass through it, as well as there's a lot of areas that have turned black. It's just a result of the light plating, or how, it just wasn't heavily plated, that's all. And so it's turned over time. And, now a lot of it can't be used, or it won't look as nice. There's no way to bring that back once it's gone, unfortunately. So it just would be something you shouldn't pay a lot for. It's just something to watch for when you purchase a less quality chain. This other one, it's a very pretty little design here. It's pretty style. Now I can see the copper underneath on some of it, but that's okay. It's not, but my kind of thing with it, I wanted to point out, it's a cute little design, right? This pattern, it's very pretty. It's very, very light, but this is the front of it, and there's a back. So if I turn it over, to me, it's the fact that there is a back at all. Right, so you can see what one's meant to be the top, and then the other is kind of underneath part, which would be one thing, maybe if it was a component or something, but as a chain, I find that really awkward and kind of hard to use, and again, it would just be a sign of a kind of lower quality chain or something to look at. And the other thing I was going to mention, if you're buying chain online, wherever you're buying it, it has to say by law where their product is made or manufactured. So just try to look on any website to see where something is made, and then ideally we'll also have the metal breakdown of the compounds of the alloys there, so that you know what you're purchasing, of course. Okay, so I just want to share a couple of things, and we'll let you go. I love this little bar chain. One reason I wanted to do a video is because I try to take the best pictures I can, but you're still not there in person. You just can't see it in person. I love this bar chain very much. The little bar in the weave, of course, catches the light and sparkles, but I call it a bar, but it's not really. If you can see the shape, it's scalloped, right? But it's not a bar. It's like it's a four-sided little piece of a scalped metal so there's four sides to it, right? And each side looks like maybe the back of a dragon or something, right? It's so pretty, and that's why it catches the light. If it was a bar, it would be flat, but it's not flat. It has four sides, and so it just constantly catches the light. It's so beautiful, and I think it's regular price. Sorry, I did write them down. I thought I did. It's like $3.50, and so it's like $1.75. So it's a really good price on sale. It's a great chain for layering. Here's one little, sample that I did, and now you have the silver bar chain in there, right? So that little shimmer that we see that kind of peekaboos through the other chain and the silk, I think it's just really lovely. So it's, I think, a beautiful chain to work with. And it's available in silver and gold. And I can just point to a few other things. There's some beading chain on sale that's not, and it's not tarnished. It's antique silver color, and in copper and in satin gold. That Figueroa's in satin gold as opposed to the bright gold. This Alaria, it was just one of those samples I pulled out again that had not lived in any kind of bag or anything, but the color has held it fantastic. This was made in 2015. I remember my classes based on where our store had moved a few times, and so I remember where I was when I taught it. It also has the rhinestone cup chain in it, all the stones still there. And this has been banging around a lot of places, going through a lot of moves with the Swarovski crystals around there. I love this little lariat tassel. It was fun to make. And there's quite a few other styles. Like I said, a lot of the bigger ones are available by the half foot as well, if you don't need an entire foot. And there's a little satellite chain. This is a lovely, just a lovely basic kind of oval cable that alternates oval and round cable link. It's just a good link to have on hand. And this is a good time to purchase them when they are on sale. And then the last one I'll go through is here's a little tiny, we call it a tiny cable link. It's 1 millimeter link. It's, you know, just one of those great little tiny chains that I think I'd love to have on hand. That little earring is made with it. And this is like a style you could easily make with rim knits, right? So when you have leftover chain from various designs, I mean, you could cut up a fresh foot, but I tend to hang on to, if I have a few inches left over from something, then I put them in a little rim knits bag so that I can grab them out when I want to work with them. Let's see, this little earring, whoops, uses that oval cable I just showed you, if I can get it right, which is really cute with pearls and the lovely design. And this little textured link is also one of my favorites. It's not a rope chain. It looks like it is from a distance, but I promise it's not. It's a textured alternating chain, and so I'm trying to show it close up, and it still looks like a rope. But there's 6 layered links in a bright metal, and then 6 in a satin metal that are textured, and they alternate, and it makes such a beautiful effect. It's a nice like thickness, I think, especially for like a pendant. And we have our lovely ball chain on sale as well. Here's silver. Right, I just think it's so, I'm trying to get as close as I can. A really beautiful chain. And this one's also, of course, half off. I think it's really $8, so it's only $4 for a foot. And I showed a little bit of our really sparkly ball chain. This is also a diamond cut ball chain as opposed to a regular ball chain. It's I think $1.25 on sale. I wanted to show this little earring. I've had it for a while, but it's made with the diamond cut ball chain. I'm trying to hang it here for a sec. And get it to focus. And I've knotted the ball chain with that little, it's mixed metal, so it's gold and then a little silver sparkly ball down here. But the top, right, the ball chain needs the little cordon crimps on the top, right? That's how it's connected, is by putting that crimp on the top and connecting that to the wire. But I didn't want it to show, so I hung this little, what looks like a bead. It's not a bead. It is a teeny tiny piece of this textured chain I just showed you that I cut a piece of this chain and then put it on a ball head pin. And when it collapsed on itself, it made this pretty little bead that's just the right size to cover that up. Isn't that cute? I think so. I think it's cute. And so there's just really fun ways to use it. That earring was a part of a set. I think I pulled out the bracelet so you could see it. Here's the bracelet that I made in, this is from 2015. It was called Bling in the New Year. But it's made with the diamond ball chain, and then I knotted it on either side of that. It could be a really pretty necklace too. This is a fun kit. Lots of fun designs. But I would really recommend bagging up all of your, especially brighter metals, but whether it's findings, clasps, chain, and keeping them in like a Ziploc bag or some kind of plastic so that they're protected from air, right? My chain doesn't look like this on the shelf. It looks like this. So I keep it protected from air just so it doesn't dull. And the darker ones should be okay, but especially the brighter metals, I would recommend doing that. But that's all. I will leave links down below to our sale page that's happening and to our website. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel for more jewelry making stuff. And like the video, leave a comment, do all the things. You can go to our website and sign up for our email. I send out an email. I try to send out an email every week, every 2 weeks sometimes, with all our latest designs, sales kits, events, all that kind of thing. So that's how you can be a part of our lovely community. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, my friends, sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Mwah. Peace.